Did you know that the way a woman asks a question can be her way of flirting? As men get older, it's easy to assume the days of being flirted with are long gone. But here's something most older men don't realize. Women don't stop showing interest. They just get better at disguising it. Especially in your 60s, 7, South, or even beyond. Women tend to flirt in ways that are far more subtle and sophisticated than the bolder signals you might remember from your younger days. These clues come in the form of everyday questions. Ones that seem harmless, even friendly, but are actually filled with hidden meaning if you know how to read them. And that's where this video comes in. Today, we're going to explore 5 specific questions women ask when they're quietly trying to express interest. These aren't loud, dramatic gestures. They're gentle nudges, ways of opening the door and seeing if you'll step through. And on CO, learn to recognize them. You might be surprised at how often you've been on the receiving end of genuine attention and didn't even know it. Whether you're a single, widowed, or just curious about social cues in this stage of life, this video can help you see things in a new light. You might find that the attention you thought had faded never really went away. It just changed shape. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know the 5 questions to look for, but you'll also understand the deeper meaning bend them and how to respond in a way thought feels confident, respectful, and true to who you are. Number 1. The curiosity question. One of the first signs a woman might be interested in you when she starts asking personal, open-ended questions that seem innocent on the surface, but are actually her way of digging deeper. What often starts with something simple like, "So what do you usually do during the week?" Or "What kind of things keep you busy these days?" On the surface, this sounds like polite conversation, but when it's repeated or asked with a warm smile and genuine interest, it's often more than just small talk. It's her way of inviting you to share your life, your routine, and in many cases to find common ground. The reason this matters is because women, especially those over 60, tend to flirt differently than they did when they were younger. They're not likely to compliment your looks outright or make bold moves. Instead, they show interest through curiosity. And they'll ask questions that give you a chance to pin up, reveal a little bit about yourself, and make her feel more emotionally connected to you. The question may not be, "Are you single?" but rather, "Do you still do any of the things you loved when you were younger?" Or, "How did you end up in this town?" It's all part of the same dance, just slower, more graceful, far more personal. This shift in communication is important. I understand, because many older men may shred it. They assume these questions are just part of casual, friendly conversation. But the truth is, a woman won't ask those types of questions unless she wants to get closer in some way. Think about it. When you're talking to someone you're not interested in, do you really ask them about their childhood hobbies or what kind of dog they used to have? Probably not. These questions are a signal, a nudge, a quiet way of saying, "I want to know you better." Take Robert, a 72-year-old widower who joined a community garden after retiring. He told me how one of the ladies there would always ask about his tomato plants. But then somehow the conversation would drift over his childhood, his time in the military, and what he liked to do in the evenings. For months, he thought she'd was just being polite. But when she finally invited him over for coffee, it all clicked. No, questions had been her way of testing the waters. This is the curiosity question. It's not loud, flashy, or obvious, but it's one of the strongest signals a woman can give. She wants to connect. She wants to hear your story. And she's giving you a chance to step into that conversation, not just as a friend, but as someone who matters. Recognizing this shift, seeing these small invitations for what they are, can make all the difference in your relationships and in your confidence, moving forward. Another subtle sign manual to men miss is the teasing compliment. It's not your typical, "You look handsome today." No, it's much softer and more playful. Something like, "I bet you were trouble when you were younger." Or, "You've got that kind of smile that makes people wonder what you're thinking." Just passing remarks. They're small invitations for you to engage, respond, and in a way flirt back without it feeling awkward or forced. For women over 60, direct flirting can feel uncomfortable or even out of place, especially if they were raised in an era where modesty was the norm. So instead, they use humor, playful jabs, lighting to let you know they're paying attention to you and not just in a friendly way. It's a gentle nudge wrapped in a compliment designed to make a feel noticed. Maybe even a little flustered, but in the best way possible. What makes this kind of comment so powerful is the emotional nuance behind it. It's not just about what's being said, it's about how it makes you feel. A teasing compliment catches you off guard, makes you laugh, and most importantly makes you feel seen. That's no small thing, especially for older men who've gone through long marriages, lost or years of just being someone's dad or grandpa. Being flirted with gently, respectfully, can feel like a spark that lights you up again. The psychology, it is this teasing lowers the emotional barrier. It creates a shared space where two people can playfully interact without risking embarrassment. If she says, "You've probably broke a few hearts back in the day," and you smile and say, "Just one or two," you've entered her rhythm. You've acknowledged, compliment, returned thoughtfulness, and started something that feels like chemistry. Think about Simeon like Frank. A 68-year-old host started attending weekly line dancing classes. One of the ladies there would always joke about his rhythm, saying things like, "You're either real like confident or just making it up as Yago." She said it with a smile every single time. Used to think she was just being cheeky. But when she offered her, "Show him a few moves after class, just the two of them," it finally dawned on him. She wasn't mocking, she was inviting. The teasing compliment is a signpost, not a detour. It tells you that someone sees you. Not just the years in your face or the gray in your hair, but the charm in your step and through warmth in your presence. You recognize that and respond with confidence. Something special can begin to unfold. Don't dismiss those playful words. They may be more sincere than y'all think. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Supper helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward.
Number 3.
Unnecessary favor. One of the most overlooked signals a woman is genuinely interested in you, especially after 60 is when she offers help that you didn't ask for. And I'm not talking about general kindness or neighborly gestures. I'm talking about favors that go just a bit beyond what's necessary. Like bringing you homemade cookies. Event though, you mentioned you were cutting back on sweets or offering to drive you to an appointment just because it's on her way, even though you never brought up needing a ride. These little actions cloaked in casual generosity are often invitations in disguise. Why do women express interest through favors? Well, for one, it gives them a way to be close without coming across as too forward. Women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond were raised in a time when making the first move was often frowned upon. So instead of declaring interest directly, they show it. Through small, thoughtful actions, ways to insert them sylvescently into your life. More importantly, doing something for someone creates a sense of connection. Psychology, this is known as the Ben Franklin effect. When we do a favor for someone, we tend to like them more. But in this case, it works in reverse too. When someone likes you, they want to do something for you. And when a woman makes the effort to be helpful in a way that isn't expected or required, it's often because she wants to build a bridge, something personal that ties her to you in a meaningful way. Let's think about it through a real-life example. Gary, a 72-year-old retiree, met a woman named Linda at his community garden club. She started showing up with extra seedlings just in case he needed some. And one day she even brought him a sun hat because she noticed he wasn't wearing Ghani. At first, Gary assumed she was just being motherly, but then she started staying late to help him clean up. And she even remembered the name of his old dog he'd mentioned once. That's when it clicked. These weren't random acts of kindness. They were signs of deeper interest. And it's not always about theft over itself. It's about the emotional subtext. A woman offering unsolicited help is trying to show you that you matter to her, that she's watching, listening, and caring in small ways. She wants you to need her just a little, not because you're weak, but because you're worth the effort. Not pity. That's attention. Older men often miss a sign because they've been conditioned to value independence. I didn't want to be a burden, they'll say. But when a woman goes out of her way to help, she's not doing it because chassies you as a burden. She's doing it because she sees something in you that makes her want to be near. So, next time a woman offers a favor that feels just a bit too specific, or thoughtful, or well-timed to be coincidence, pause and take it in. It might just be her way of knocking gently on the door of your life, waiting to see if you'll let her in. Number 4, the memory test. Sometimes the biggest clues a woman is until you aren't in what she says, but in what she remembers. And this one slips past most men without a second thought. When a woman recalls something you said weeks ago, something small, maybe even something you forgot yourself, that's not just coincidence. That's intention. That's attention. And more often than not, that's attraction. Why? 'Cause a woman brings up a past detail, especially something insignificant, to her, but meaningful to you. It means she's mentally holding on to parts of you. She's storing pieces of your story back as you matter enough for her to do so. Women aren't doing this for every man they talk to. They're doing it for one who stood out, even if he doesn't realize it. Take, for instance, a man named Frank, 68, who met a woman at a local book club. They talked once about a fishing trip he took with his grandson, something he thought was just casual small talk. 2 weeks later, she walked up and asked, "Did your grandson end up catching that trout?" That wasn't just politeness. That was her showing him that she was listening, and more importantly, that she remembered and she wanted him to know it. Now, let's dig into the psychology behind this. Memorious tied to emotional engagement. Our brains don't hold on to everything. We remember what strikes a chord. When Simeon brings up something you said in a way that shows care and context, that's a sign they were emotionally present in that moment. And for women, it's often their way of letting you know quietly that you left a mark. But here's the tricky part. Many older men dismiss these memory callbacks as friendly conversation or just being nice. They didn't realize that these moments are like breadcrumbs leading you gently toward understanding someone's deeper intentions, especially in later life when dating might feel less direct or more subtle. These little signals matter more than ever. Fact for women over 60. Remembering something about you and bringing it up in conversation is often safer and more socially acceptable thing. If a compliment or making a move, it allows her to show warmth without risking embarrassment. It's a feeler, aidist, and an invitation all wrapped in tune. Let's go back to Frank. The more he talked, the more he realized she was just making conversation. Sharam remembered he liked caramel coffee. Sharam remembered his dog's name. She even remembered his hip surgery date. These weren't facts stored by accident. They were small gifts quietly handed back to him, as if to say, I care. Yeah. If you rest whole watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, the compliment in disguise. There's ascertained kind of compliment that doesn't sound like a compliment at all. It's not you're handsome or you look good for your age. It's something a little more clever, a little more subtle. And many older men completely miss it when it happens. But when a woman says something like, you don't seem like the other men your age, or you've got such a calming presence, that's not small talk. It's often a quiet flirtation wrapped in a veil of respect. See women, especially women over 50, tend to compliment men in ways that feel safe and emotionally intelligent. Instead of focusing on looks, they may draw attention to a man's demeanor, values, or even how he made them feel. These compliments are less about appearance and more about identity. And when a woman offers one of these compliments, she's not just observing, she's admiring. Often she's hinting Thatch has noticed something others haven't. Let's take an example. A 72-year-old man named Alan was having coffee at a church group when a woman turned to him and said, "You know, it's rare to meet a man who actually listens without interrupting. You make people feel hard." But Alan, it sounded like a polite comment. But to her, it was a way to let him know she appreciates something deeper. His presence, his patience, his steadiness. What Alan didn't realize is that this kind of compliment reveals interest on a more emotional level. It's her way of saying, "I see you," in a world where many older men feel invisible. And because men are often used to hearing compliments about their work or achievements, they don't always catch on when the compliment is about who they are as a person. Psychologically, this taps into a concept called emotional attribution. When someone makes us feel good about ourselves in a unique or insightful way, we begin to associate that good feeling with them. It forms a connection, one that goes beyond just friendly words. And for women, this method of complimenting is often a gentle approach to bridge that connection without putting themselves in a vulnerabilization. It also explains why these compliments may come out of nowhere. You might be talking about something mundane like the weather or your favorite bookend. Suddenly she throws in a line like, "You'll get that trustworthy look." That's not trendom. It's targeted and it's mental land. But because many older men are retaught to be modest or are simply out of practice when it comes to noticing flirtation, they nod, smile, and move in. They don't realize that she was putting something out there to be received, hoping he'd notice and respond. So, the next time a woman gives Sue a compliment that seems to go beyond the surface, pause. Think about what she's really saying. Is she noticing something others overlook? Is she letting you know that you're different in a good way? So, she might be saying more than her words suggest. She might be inviting you to notice her. To our final thoughts. Now here's the truth. Most older men never hear. Just because you're not in your 30s anymore doesn't mean women aren't noticing you, in fact. Some of the most meaningful, subtle, and sincere flirtations happen later in life. But you have to know what to look for. Women your age or even younger often express interest in ways that are more careful, more respectful, and sometimes wrapped in layers of casual conversation or innocent questions. But when you learn to recognize the meaning behind those layers, something remarkable happens. You stop feeling invisible. You stop assuming you're being just friendly. You start seeing yourself the way others do, with value, presence, quiet power. This isn't about trying to chase a mething you've lost. It's about recognizing the timeless things you still carry. Warmth, experience, calm, character, and those qualities are magnetic. Don't sell yourself short just because you don't hear pickup lines or bold invitations. It's the women who see often speak in signals, not shouts, and sometimes all it takes is a little awareness to shift your entire experience. A small question like, "Do you live alone?" or a quiet compliment about your steady presence isn't random. It's personal. It's intentional. So, the next time a woman asks a curious question, offers a subtle compliment, or lingers in a conversation a little longer than expected, don't brush it off. Don't assume it means nothing. Instead, smile a little wider, stay present, and maybe ask a question back. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you'll learn today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.